Well, hey there YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger, and this video today I want to attempt to defend the reputation of Chicago style pizza. This goes back to my personal experience watching like Food Channel documentaries or anything about pizza. They always get to Chicago and they're like, Windy City with its big winds has an even bigger appetite for an even bigger pizza. Put your swim fins on. It's time to take a dive into this deep dish Chicago style pizza. Well, I got to tell you, my family, my wife's family, every time I was ever at a friend's house and we ordered pizza, we never got deep dish pizza. Never. Not once. Not once. During the 80s, there was this fad, this restaurant called Giordano's, which was kind of like the decorating was a little bit upscale and the prices were too. Like we wouldn't even go there unless there was some mega coupon. Now my mom did like that pizza. My mom was really hot for it. I could take it or leave it. And to me, and everyone else that I know, it was all about what we would call thin crust tavern style pizza, which is cut in squares, typically cheese and sausage. If you want to go crazy, you can do green pepper, you can do onion, you can even do mushrooms if you want to go nuts. But really, if you have a really good sausage, like there's a place called Lido's Pizza that's in LaGrange, it's on LaGrange Road in Countryside, which is like 15 miles west of the Loop in the suburbs. That Lido's Pizza, it used to be solid sausage all the way across the pizza. I mean, they completely load the pie up. Now, mind you, it was more expensive for what you got, but it was. I don't know if they used spicy hot Italian sausage, but it had a good amount. Like it kind of light you up, like that black pepper glow that you get. And that pizza, you really couldn't beat it. And there's plenty of different styles of this thin crust pizza where it's just a little different on how they do the crust. Do they do cornmeal? Do they do flour on the bottom? It's all slightly different, and all of that stuff. It really does matter, and this is why people will pick their place. We go to Papa Passero's, which is actually a little thicker than some of the other thin crust pizzas in Chicago. We go to Dora's in Melrose Park. You remember Dora's? How about Caesar's Pizza? Not Little Caesar's. Caesar's Pizza on 22nd, or was it? I think it was in Oak Park. So yeah, no matter how you slice it, Chicago style pizza is a thin crust tavern style cut into squares. It's not deep dish pizza. So this video had been popping up on my feed, and it is a video called Why is New Haven Pizza so good? Pizza, a love story, tonic. New Haven is home to one of the most controversial food debates in the world, with 3 outstanding and unique pizzerias all in a 6-block radius. The people of Connecticut have a very strong opinion on which restaurant is better, Sally's, Pepe's, or Modern. I gotta tell you, nothing against the fine folks who happen to hail from New Haven or Connecticut. I am sure that you love your pizza, and if you visited Chicago and you were ushered over to Giordano's to try the Chicago style deep dish pizza, there's no wonder why you obviously feel that your pizza is superior. It's a regional thing. You love what you grew up with. It's an acquired taste. There's towns in dejected, depressed economic areas of the world where eating rat feces is a delicacy. People love it. Dig into that steaming pile of rat feces, and that's just the way it is. So I'm not here to say like I'm better or my pizza is better. I'm here to say that whenever you're watching something and they talk about Chicago and they bring up deep dish pizza, no, nobody gets that stuff. Maybe there's people in the city that love it. I don't know. I like I said, I don't know anyone. It was a fad. There was this one chain restaurant, Giordano's, that was expensive, that they decorated it like it was fancy and you were supposed to leave a big tip. And I really just wasn't thrilled. You know, I probably ate there about a dozen times in my life because we used to eat out. My mom and my dad loved to eat out. But since I got out on my own, I was there once. And that was because my wife met up with one of her friends from school, and that's where we went. It wasn't my choice. So I'm guessing it was this girl. She had moved away to Texas, and when she came back to Chicago, what she wanted to get was some of that Chicago-style deep dish pizza. So it is what it is, but I'm going to read my post now. Thank you for joining me on this one. And if you're from Connecticut, again, this is not an attack on you or your pizza. I'm sure it's absolutely delicious. But I got a thing about seafood. I don't eat that stuff. Anytime when you're thinking about a guy putting out a diving bell, risking his life to go down there to the bottom of the ocean to rush this stuff over to you, I don't know, there's just something about seafood that I'm like, for one, I have chronic gout. For two, I don't like the idea of someone having dangerous seas on Lifetime. See these poor suckers risking their lives and drowning so some guy can go to Papa-Doo and get his shrimp on. No. There's plenty of chickens and cows for you to eat. You don't need to be risking your life. You don't need to be signing away a season of your life to go live on some dinghy being pelted with salt water. Should I read my post? Again, New Haven, Connecticut people, I love you. But if you come to Chicago, don't go to Giordano's and get your Chicago-style deep dish. Because that's not, I repeat, not Chicago-style pizza. Deep dish or pan-style pizza is not representative of Chicago pizza. At least not for my family and my wife's family. No one that I know is here orders that stuff. We do like to get thin crust tavern-style pizza, which of course was not brought up here in this one-sided daydream of a video. Tavern-style thin crust cheese and sausage is what Chicago cuts into squares, and this is the style of pizza that we grew up eating, not the deep dish. The deep dish was in the city long ago, and it became a huge thing in the suburbs during the 80s when the chain franchises, but they did not charge mom and pop prices. The deep dish is for deep pockets. This was around the same time that everyone was on blow, and all of the music had synthesizers and no guitars. Coincidence? We surely took a steep dive, but at least we had the common sense to not load up our pies with crabs, clams, mussels, oysters, scallops, octopus, squid, abalone, or snails. The mom and pop owned pizzerias while we're serving this tavern-style thin crust cheese and sausage long before the fad of deep dish pizza restaurants became a bad thing and somehow ruined this town's pizza reputation. These deep dish places are not joints. I repeat, they also charge a lot more. The deep dish thing is similar in concept, but consuming this, one realizes this is something completely different. Now, it's not really awful, but it's also not in the same league of good thin crust pizza. Here in Chicago, we don't need to put clams, barnacles, or seafoods on our pies. And we also do not consume loads of chowder. Seafood like this is something I see on Gordon Ramsay, and it's usually gone off. Fresh Wisconsin cheese and the Italian sausage is all that's needed for our recipe of perfection. And I will repeat, Chicago-style pizza is not deep dish. That's something that is not even really pizza, in my opinion. It makes for a good joke if you're trying to deflect and ignore the truth. Haha, real funny. Chicago's pizza isn't good, it's deep dish. As I eat a slice of Lido's thin crust cheese and sausage, I would love to know where the person who made this video came up. Here is a shocker for you. I bet it rhymes with blue hamster. Thank you for joining me. Try to stay cool. If you have a pet that are able to physically pick that pet up and maybe even give it a little hug, a hug. Give your pet an extra treat from Petey today, a little extra affection. And peace.